Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Out in the Hamptons. I'm your host, Michael Jefferies, and this episode is our holiday themed seasonal episode of Out in the Hamptons. So welcome everyone, glad you can tune in. And my first fabulous guest is the one and only Hugh King. Welcome.
Thank you, Mike.
How are you today?
I'm okay. I just came from a village board meeting.
Literally right next door.
Right next door, right here at LTV.
I saw Jerry Larson walking in the parking lot with his posse.
Yes, the mayor signs a check, so let's be nice, okay?
And how is the state of the town today?
The town or the village?
The village.
I guess it's fine. Guess it's fine, yes.
Yeah, folks listening to us, watching us, most everyone should know by now that you're also the town crier on the occasion.
On the town crier. I was in Montauk last night talking about a man named Austin Corbin, who was responsible for bringing the railroad to Montauk in 1895. He was also a miserable human being. Okay, so we told a little bit about everything about Austin Corbin.
How would you know he was miserable?
Well, if you just do the research, you just start Googling Austin Corbin, and you'll find out that he did not like undesirables, which he labeled most people who weren't like him. All right. Now, the railroad has brought many great things to Montauk. It brought the soldiers after the Spanish-American War there. And then the whole fishing industry was able to grow up because people from New York City got on the train and took it out to Montauk.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did he die?
He was riding in his carriage in New Hampshire, and he went to open up the umbrella to get away from the rain or the sun, and it spooked the horses, and he fell into a ditch and died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad
That's
karma.
okay.
Bad karma, folks.
Yeah, he did have bad karma, yes.
So we are going to pivot to our holidays now on that
Okay.
note, that
Okay.
cheery note.
Yes.
Old Hook Mill, everyone knows our fabulous windmill to greet all folks coming into East Hampton. And some of the other festive lighting events in the town. I know it goes back some time, and you're the town historian as well. What can you tell us about the tradition?
Let's go back to, there was no tradition for many years.
Nada.
At Christmas. If you look in the town records, they were meeting on December 25th. It's not a holiday, it wasn't. I don't think Christmas took off in this country until after the 1850s, when Thomas Nast produced Santa Claus, that image of Santa Claus that we have today. And then Queen Victoria had a tree, and it was lit up. And that spawned the idea, I think, at least here for some, of having Christmas trees. And this changing of presents didn't happen till after a while either. And that's happened, the same thing in East Hampton. Now, the windmills, all three of them, by the way,
Yeah.
what they do, the village every year, is they would light the windmills up at Christmas time. And then they'd put that little tree with the blue lights on it in the middle of Town Pond.
Right. Now, did that have a religious importance, that color?
No.
Or was it just,
The blue, I have
did they
no
vote
idea.
on a color? And
Well, they were arguing for years. Some people wanted, then the village also puts trees, lights trees up and
Right.
down Newtown Lane and Main Street. And now, are we going to have lights that are all different colors on the tree, or are we going to have blue lights? And for a while, there was great argument about it. I have no idea.
I can
why.
just
But
imagine.
it's the Christmas season. What are we arguing about the color of the lights?
Yeah.
Please.
For many years growing up, it was blue. I would
It was
always,
blue?
you would turn into, Main Street there,
Yeah.
and it would be this
But
blue.
when you saw those
light
lights
in the
on
middle.
the windmills, you knew it was Christmas.
Yeah, so obviously that started when there was electricity.
Good idea. They didn't put candles on the windmill.
Does it go that far back, like to the 1920s, or when did?
No. That's a good question. When did they start lighting up the windmill? I joined the village in 1999 to work at Home Sweet Home Museum, so they were doing it then, but they must have done it before that.
Yeah.
So I don't know when that started. That's a good question.
We can say it goes back a fair amount of time in this town's history. But what do you know about like the when the first settlers were here and they were they were sustaining themselves? How do you think they would celebrate the holidays, or did they even have a?
The Puritans were not big fans of Christmas. There was excess. There were a lot of excesses at Christmas, drinking, partying.
Oh,
Yeah, no, 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 no. So they were not in favor of this kind of a celebration. I don't think the Puritans. As I said, Christmas was not even thought of. I don't think as to be something special until the middle of the 19th century. And of course, when you got Santa Claus, um, and you got this guy who comes and brings presents. Well, this started a whole business now. See, they made money off of Santa Claus because he was coming. You have to buy presents. You have to give presents. That spawned another whole industry, which the Puritans wouldn't have liked. The people in East Hampton would not have been in favor of that either.
yeah.
Maybe you know what they did celebrate years ago sometimes was the different changes in the season. The summer solstice, the winter solstice.
That would make a lot of sense because this is like field to table kind of existence and fishing and
And
surviving.
many times there were weddings around Christmas time
Yeah,
because the harvest was done. You see, there was nothing more to grow or to take care of. Everything was kind of dead. And so that's when a lot of people got married at Christmas time.
yeah.
I don't know what the record is here in East Hampton. I have to go look at the church records, but
And
that's
that
a good point to do. I never thought of
the
that.
old Hook Mill Windmill was very functional for many years.
It still can turn. We don't turn it anymore because it's too weak now. There are too many parts.
Yeah,
It was running, they used to run it in the 1950s. Morris Lester he lived right across the street, and he used to run the mill, turn it, and then they'd give out little bags of flour or grain
hmm
to take home. And then when he retired, we stopped running it. But that windmill has all its working parts.
Amazing. It's such an iconic image when you stroll into town and you see it everywhere. It's
Well,
like,
when you come into town now, remember, you come to the pond,
yeah,
you make a left, and up a ways, you look on your right, there's a windmill. This is
Yeah.
the Gardner windmill. Then you go down a few more houses, and there's the Panago windmill behind Home Sweet Home.
that's right. Are
Then
those
you
lit
go
up
into the
now
village.
too?
Huh?
Do we light those as well?
All the three windmills are lit. Now, the villagers decided that they were going to light them throughout the year, so people can see them at night.
Okay, and we should also get a Ferris wheel, maybe?
No, no. Now, remember now, the windmills are not Christmas trees now, they're
Yeah.
windmills. And the Ferris wheel will just put everything back 150 years.
I imagine we've converted to LED lighting at this point, or
Yeah, I don't know what the lights are on the arm, they put them on the blades, the
Right.
tree. I don't know what those lights are.
we'll
The highway
probably
department,
going up pretty soon if they're
they're
not.
up already.
Are they lit?
Oh,
God,
yeah.
I'm so clueless. I've been away a little bit, but
Well,
yeah.
now it gets dark around 4:30,
So
so
that-
if you drive through the village, you'll
Yeah.
see them all lit up.
I'm gonna go check it out today since we're talking about much.
Yeah.
Do some little research for the next show.
And the village windmills, are unlike, and there are 11 windmills on Eastern Long Island.
Yeah.
11. But the only three that you really can go into are the three in the village.
I know you drive by and see the hostess at the door often,
Yeah, the Hook
waiting to
Windmill.
greet somebody in. Folks, go and support the heritage. Go into Old Hook Mill.
It's open in July and August, every day.
Oh, it's not anymore. It's too cold now.
Yeah, don't want to go in there.
Just ghosts are in there, and you have the graveyard right behind you, so it's very,
Mhm.
inviting.
Very good. Yeah, very inviting. No, it isn't. Depends how old you are, Michael.
Yeah.
Okay?
Now, who's resting peacefully, hopefully, behind the windmill?
Well, now, we don't know as much, I don't know as much about the north, that's called the North End Cemetery. It was opened up in 1770, okay, because that's where the that's where the community pretty much ended in 1770. It didn't go much further than that. Remember, the early settlement of East Hampton happened right around Village Green in
Right.
Town Pond.
That's right.
And by 1770, and enough of it had moved up towards the Hook Windmill, which, by the way, wasn't there in 1770, There was another windmill there.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I
we
did
know
not
that?
know that. That's
Well,
why you are the town
Yeah, but
historian.
the only reason I know that is I was reading the church records. Are you ready?
Yeah.
In 1736, they put a windmill up where the Hook Windmill is. And what they do is, as soon as the windmill, the highest point was built, they have a party, used to call it bush parties. And when they build a house, supposing when the highest point of the house is done, they put a bush up and then the workers have to have a party, okay? So they're raising the windmill where the Hook Windmill is now in 1736. And how do we know that? Because they had a party and Daniel Dayton drank so much flip that he died. This 8-year-old kid
Oh,
got into the alcohol and died. And it says in the church records why they were raising the windmill. So that's how we know there was another windmill there. And who's buried in the North End Cemetery? I think there's some Dominies there, but I'm not as familiar with that as I am with the South End Cemetery.
the South End where Mr. Gardner rests.
Yeah, and that's where your two sisters came on the tour.
Right, my two sisters, but also many people come for this fabulous tour that's every season.
Well, yeah, they do several of them during the year now, and everybody wants to go there around Halloween, of course. But it's not a Ghosts and Goblins tour, okay? It's an historic tour. We don't have ghosts and
Right, last
goblins.
time I was like, oh,
No,
people
no,
get
no,
scared from,
no,
yeah,
no,
no, it's not that at all.
Okay, is our time up? It is, isn't it?
Mr. King's in a rush to get
No, I'm
out
not
of
in a
here.
rush to get out, but I mean,
Yeah, so we do. We have another guest waiting in the wings to join us. So just to reiterate, folks, it is season time to enjoy all of the wonderful sites, the windmills here on Long Island, East End, East Hampton. And let's just throw in the lighthouse too. That's a beautiful
You're
lit.
gonna like that, I think November 24th or 25th, the lighthouse is lit. Yeah, that's a biggie.
Yeah, and so lots to see and enjoy out here in East Hampton. Mr. King, Mr. Hugh King, thank you for joining us again on Out in the Hamptons. And come on back anytime. We love you out here.
All right, thank you.
All right, nice round of applause, Mr. King. Thank you. And we're going to switch off now, folks, with the event manager at Stephen Talkhouse. So excited and happy to have Max Honerkamp coming on right now. Hey, how's it going there?
Good, how's it going?
Good to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I walk with your mom out in the dog park often
yeah?
with our dogs.
Awesome.
When it's not the dog park, so sorry, the Springs Park.
All right.
Yeah. And I think she was instrumental in kind of corralling you
Yeah.
over here.
Found out yesterday, but yeah, it's all good.
Let's talk Stephen Talkhouse.
Yeah.
Wow, what a wonderful venue. One of the best reasons why is because it's a locally run venue and it has such a history.
Right.
How long has your family been involved with it?
Since 1987. So
Yeah, so a long time.
before me, I'm born in '89, so before you know,
You
a
were-
couple years before me.
Yes, you were born into the business. Yeah. And you have had so many amazing events. I like the way you guys curate local talent with bigger names.
Right.
Was that something you were instrumental in orchestrating?
Yeah, I mean, it's been around. My dad's been doing it way before me, and he's still involved, obviously. But I'm trying to take on a little bit more, and it's it's interesting. Like we have a lot of the local names that people will come out to see, and then you have the established acts that people recognize the names. And I'm trying to find the next wave before people kind of know them as they're getting started, so people can say, "Oh, I saw them at the Talkhouse."
Oh, that's
before they got
an
big, you know?
awesome approach. Yeah.
But it's tough because it's tough to get people out to see a new show that there's no reason to if you don't know the name, you don't. So getting people to come to those shows can be tricky, but that I'm trying to build my reputation of if you don't know the name, it's probably it's probably a good show.
Right. Yeah. People have an excitement, anticipation of
Right.
what is this act going to bring. Now, how does one go about getting like the big Stella names like Ed Sheeran or something? Do you have to
Yeah,
have
that show-
contacts, or do they approach you and say, "Hey"?
Yeah, that one's not really much in terms of what we're doing, but SiriusXM, we have a good relationship with them. I believe it started off just having them record some of our live shows, a lot of the reggae acts they did, and then in 2016 they had this crazy idea to bring Coldplay into the show to play before they played at MetLife for 90,000, so it was whatever, couple hundred people,
Mhm.
seeing somebody that's gonna play for 90,000 the next day. And that was the first one they did, and then, yeah, they did Ed Sheeran this year, so we have a good relationship with them, and they're, it's cool for the artists to come in and do the show, so.
More of an acoustic experience.
Yeah.
Did he bring his little beatbox thing?
Yeah, it's crazy. You see him, you know of him and you hear his sounds, but his ability to make all those sounds, like there's a full band up there with just him and his guitar and
Isn't
his
that
little
amazing?
pedal,
Yeah.
is blew me
Blows
away.
people, blows people away. Now, how many folks can cram into that, like, Talkhouse? Is there 1,000?
No. I mean, we did that show in the back, so there's more space. We had a big tent, and you get more people because the cool thing about the Talkhouse is there's 3 areas. You have the main room where there's music, you have the back bar, and the outside patio area. So you have those 3 elements to a night, but the band's only in one room. So if you have it in the back, more people could see it.
That's right. There's like different levels of experience for folks coming into the Talkhouse. I was trying to remember when I was in high school and we were like trying to sneak into something. If those rooms were even there. Those additions.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could look at the building when you're looking at it. And the past few years we've been doing some renovations which were needed because the building's 1832, I think. You probably could have answered better on that, but it was a guy named
Hugh, right? Yeah.
Erastus Barnes. It was his house. He was like a fisherman or a whaler.
Oh, very cool.
So that was his house, and it's been expanded. Like the front porch is enclosed, the back bar was added. I believe where the stage was a driveway. So that was the side of the house. If you go in front, you could see the original house.
How did the iconic image of was that Stephen Talkhouse, that image that you used?
Yeah.
How did that come to be? Was he involved with the?
The name was inherited. It's been called. I think it was the guy's house, and then it became the Amagansett Inn, and then the owners in 1970 named it the Stephen Talkhouse, and we just kept the name.
Yeah, it's like a branded
Yeah.
name.
I
Gotcha.
believe. I don't know if where the image was. Obviously, the backdrop behind our stage was added by us because that wasn't a stage.
Yeah.
It was just a bar before us, a restaurant, and so I don't know. I'm assuming, he's obviously a prolific character in the history of the Hamptons and the Montauk and everything.
Again, a question for Hugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's pivot to the holidays. They're coming fast and furious. I want to focus in on a really interesting show that's coming up on, I think it's the 15th of December.
Right.
It's called a drag show or?
Yeah, I don't know the specific.
Yeah.
My dad's put that together. We did our first
Oh,
2.
live drag show it's called on the 15th of December. Folks, get your tickets now. And there's the image.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jody. Look at all those queens. They all have titles. Some are Miss Fire Island. One is Miss Gay Long Island. So on and so on. And the host, of course, is
Epiphany.
Epiphany. Get paid, girl. You better get paid. And she's hosting, and she has her talent coming on. Ariel Sinclair, Jetta Jones, and Richard with an R, I say.
Yeah, he's a local guy. Works at the bar too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, he's gonna get into drag and
Yeah, he
entertain
usually
us.
opens up the show. I mean, it's a new thing we started this summer. The first one was in July, and it sold out. Everyone loved it, so we did another one in August. I think it was end of August. That was also a hit, so we're doing something.
Keeping
for
the
holidays,
fire
yeah.
burning on drag in
Yeah.
the Hamptons.
Yeah, just also mix it up. It's good to do. You have music every night, so it's good to have different things to.
Well,
break it up.
folks watching us wondering, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I have a quote from the hostess herself.
Okay.
She was kind enough to text me this morning. Here's what you can expect. She says it's going to be a fully rounded drag show with live singing, comedy, celebrity impersonation, and dancing, all set to the amazing atmosphere of Holidays in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. That is some homegrown entertainment right there. Get your tickets where?
I get them online. You could call, or I think there's still. I don't want to say you can get them at the door because you never know, but there's still tickets available, so you can get them online or you can call. Save some money on the website.
Yeah.
uh,
By the way, you have
fees.
you guys have an amazing website, really easy to navigate, and it's so informative, and that's where you can go to get some of those tickets.
Definitely.
Yeah, I've come to see some of the local talent, like Inda
Yeah.
Eaton, love her, and
Yeah.
Nancy, she's
Yeah,
a
Nancy's
regular.
playing next week.
Oh,
This
she's
weekend,
playing again?
next Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is some of your favorite local acts? Anything that you're like personally, not the venue itself, but what are you into?
I mean, locals, like I love them all. You see them like quite a bit, so it gets a little. I'm trying. What do you mean? Like just my
Like what kind of
favorite?
music are you into
Um,
personally?
personally, I'm like it's interesting. I guess I'm to my core kind of like just a rock guy.
Like classic rock or progressive?
But kind of everything. It's still kind of, I like the classic stuff, but I'm all into trying to find. It's interesting, like when you listen to a lot of newer acts today, it's almost like a renaissance of what was classic rock. You can find a band and be like, oh, this is the new version of this band.
Yeah, absolutely, and
So
it should be
finding
that way.
it should be. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't see those bands anymore. So there's, you see the band that's doing what they did, in a fresh way.
Mhm.
So, but I'm kind of all over the place, and I kind of have to be. I'm trying to branch out more because for I want everyone to have a show to see. So if I'm just gonna book rock bands, like then people that like
Right.
country won't be into it, or soul, jazz. So trying to diversify, but
Yeah.
my core is rock, I'd say,
Yeah.
and blues.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a smart way to be an events manager.
Yeah.
Cast a net and attract a lot of different demographics and a lot of different entertainment. Do you play an instrument? Are you a musical?
well. I've had a guitar. One of the local legends, Bosco. He plays in a bunch of bands, but a lot of with Little Head Thinks. That's like kind of been our house band for, I don't know, a long time. He taught me the guitar. He's great. Go to college, things change, but I still pick it up every once in a while. But I don't know. Maybe one day I'll be on stage, but for now, it's just a.
Oh, you have an inkling
party
to
trick.
get on stage and do something?
My friend actually, in our renovations, we redid the bar, and he took the wood from the bar to a guitar shop in the city, Carmine's Guitars, and he made a guitar and a bass out of the bar.
Mhm.
So he has a band, my buddy that took it, that had the connection, and he's like, you got to play it for the first time on stage. So he had me jump up, and I kind of had the volume low and just was up there, but it kind of got the bug a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see how it goes, folks. And you also have you have DJs coming in too. Are they mainly in that room in the back?
No, we do. We usually do everything on the stage. We're trying to mix it in a little bit. I mean, it'll always be a place for bands, predominantly. It's kind of, I don't know. It's been its core forever, and obviously with times, if it has to adjust, we will. But it's good to mix it up too, because that is music that people do want to hear too. So
Yeah, so come and dance, folks.
Yeah.
You
there's
encourage
a DJ
dancing.
tonight actually.
There is. Who's DJing
It's
tonight?
a local kid named Kai. I think his DJ name's Fly Kai.
Yeah, I think I saw that when I was looking.
Yeah, so he's tonight.
Any idea what type of flavor he's going to bring?
I think it's more of electronic sound. He mixes it up each time, but it's a little bit more. It's not like just
Top 40.
Yeah, it's not top 40. It's he might mix in some of that stuff, but it's a little more electronic.
Oh, good. Well, there's a lot of great electronic EDM music out there.
Yeah.
And do you guys have like dance lights that you flip a switch and suddenly the room turns into?
The biggest challenge with that place and lights is just the lower ceilings. So I go to all
hit your
these
head
other
on a mirror ball.
venues to check out other bands, and the light shows are great, and we're trying to do what we can, but it's as I said, a house built in the 1800s.
No
so
fireworks.
Yeah, no pyro. Yeah.
No, what's that word?
Pyrotechnics.
No
Yeah.
pyrotechnics. But LED disco lights, yeah.
Yeah.
uh, So since it's a family affair, let's just go through the list quickly of everyone besides yourself that's
Yeah.
involved. Your dad, let's start with him.
Yeah, he started it. Still, you know,
What's
there
his
almost
name?
every day. Peter.
Peter, yes.
Um,
Shout out to Peter.
you know,
Yeah.
he does vacation winter now. He lets himself get away from the place for a bit.
Yeah,
But
I can
he's
understand.
Pretty much, if you know, I can't go a day without not seeing him there. So he's still
Yeah,
actively a big part of the place.
got your sister involved too with the, is she
My
involved
sister,
with the
she's not really
Talkhouse?
involved with the bar, but you know, during COVID, we came up with an idea to like try and do something with our brand because we were like, you know, there was a time where it was like, is the Talkhouse done?
Yeah,
It's hard to imagine
Oh,
that then, but in the height of COVID,
that's
it's
right.
like, are they gonna let
yeah.
the Talkhouse is music, dancing, people meeting each other, and that was not happening.
I went through the same thing as a DJ. I was on the West Coast DJing for Hornblower Cruises, and the doors shut. I had to like bang on and get my last paycheck.
Yeah.
That's how fast they shut.
No, it's tough. So
In the last minute we have, I just quickly want to talk about the Talkhouse brand. It's tequila and vodka
yeah,
based
so
drinks.
we came up with this idea to do this canned cocktail to try and recapture what we do. So you know, away from the bar because it's only one place. So to try and bring it home. And we came up with this idea, and she's taken it and ran far with it. But there's a tequila soda and a vodka soda.
Yes, and congratulations on that. It's a top seller every place I go.
Yeah.
Last
She's
question
doing a
of the
good job.
night: do you sell it next to High Noon at your bar?
We don't have high noon at the bar.
Okay, and that's a wrap. But thank you so much for coming on out in the Hamptons. It's been a pleasure, and come on back anytime you want.
Appreciate
The
it.
PR, all of your fabulous guests.
Thanks.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.